Hello, everybody. My name is Evan Brock, former athlete and serial entrepreneur. Thank you for joining Angel and I with Champagne Vibes with Angel. Follow me on Instagram at ebrock21. And yeah, hope you enjoy it.
Step into the champagne vibes. Come and catch the vibe. Step into the champagne vibes. Come and catch the vibe.
Welcome to Champagne Vibes with me, Angel LaShonn, and today I have my friend, my homie, and my headache, Evan.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
So, Evan, let's talk about you. Like, Evan is an ex-pro basketball player, right? You ex?
It's pending.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
not fully saying that I'm retired or ex or anything, but if the opportunity does come up, I'm going to go. You know what I'm saying?
You
What?
still about to be bouncing that ball?
The people you used to talk to, they're ex-players. I'm still pending.
Very good. You said the people I used to talk to?
I'm just saying.
No?
No? So you ain't never talked to nobody that happened to
Not
possibly be
people.
a person that happened to used to be an athlete?
So, might still be.
Might.
I don't know. I don't
okay.
keep up with my exes or with my old things.
If they on TV, you do.
Ooh!
I'm just playing. What's up?
Don't make me go through them 18 girls in your phone that you be texting.
22.
In rotation. It's 22 now?
It's
You done
22.
moved up.
It's the summertime.
You got too much time on your hands.
No, I don't. I got one life to live. And
Oh my God. And you're living it.
Yeah, but I live it properly.
High five.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if 22 girls in rotation is proper.
I didn't say that they were all at, whatever level. I just said that I was having conversations.
So let's talk about that. What's levels, Evan?
Yeah, I mean, you got the friendship level. Not everybody is, fortunate to be at best friend level such as I with you as a female. But, you have regular friends and you have friends that, you might be like, okay, them the party girls. You call them to come out. Then you have someone you kind of mess with. And then you might actually have one you really, really like. And she gets the attention, the full effort, stuff like that. But
So how does the one you really like get the full attention and effort if you got 21 more
because
in rotation?
You got to look at it like this, right? All of them aren't going to be in the same city.
You got a point.
Okay, so if there's 22, let's just say, hypothetically, 22, right? 15 might be scattered about the nation. Then that's this conversation. Then you have other ones that you might see hang out. Like I said, that means 7 more that you have different levels with. Not all sexual or intimate. It's just platonic, or it might be a mix. So it just depends.
So you just stretching yourself out.
I'm not stretching anything.
It sounds like a stretch. Stretch Armstrong
stretch
to
one,
me.
stretch something, but not myself. I'm just saying that it's fine. I'm good. I'm not overstretching myself.
Okay, I don't know how we got off on that subject, but that was funny. So tell me, in your own words, who are you?
Who is Evan Brock?
Yes.
Evan Brock is an athlete, an entrepreneur. He is a man of faith. He is a genuine soul who loves to see people do better, and he bases his ventures for success and to be successful to open up doors for other people. That's the foundation of who Evan Brock is.
I like the fact that you didn't stumble in that question. You know who you are.
You gotta know who you are.
A lot of people struggle with that.
Absolutely.
So, have you always known who you were, or did it take time to get to that place?
So for me, so majority of my life, or all my life, I've been an athlete, right? So that is one lane that you solely focus on, knowing that that's your identity because people have poured into your skill level and what you've been praised to do on the court, right? Mm-hmm. So that becomes like your identity in a sense, right? But for me, luckily, I had a lot of ambition to where I knew that basketball was just a platform. I always had ambitions to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
That helped me learn and kind of keep stability in knowing who I was.
Okay.
Now, did knowing who I was it always fluid? No, because once I took that break from basketball and, contemplated like retirement after injury and all that kind of stuff, it's like, all right, now that whole real world light bulb comes on. It's like, damn, like, you are these things, but how do you start to question yourself once things don't go the right way when you're done.
Mm-hmm.
So that transition into real life and how to go about things is really hard.
So how do you know, like, when you're just hitting a stumbling block and when you're done?
Stumbling block
As in your, like,
myself or the
athletic career?
sport. By the time frame in which your opportunities come or don't come.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily for me, in my career, I built up enough consistent, good features throughout different countries of my seasons and stuff like that, to where when I did get hurt and I wasn't playing for a whole year, my name still had a positive influence. But they're just like, okay, where's he been? Now, if I recovered from my injury and I wasn't able to get a job for another year or two, then that's like, okay, like, it's really probably over.
So is it safe to say, like, athletes typically don't decide to be done? Like, certain things have to occur to where they know, like, all right, I might need to bow out now?
Yeah. But majority, yes. Because you got to think, most of us started at yay high, kids, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one thing you're so passionate for and put so much working effort into all your life. Like, we literally start working before the average kid starts working. We're working at 4 or 5 years old, practicing, and most kids are drawing or whatever else, but we're at practice at that age. So you would develop such a strong passion. It's like, yes, something has to stop you from doing it, whether it's injury, I don't know, family stuff or whatever, but something's gonna drive you to, has to stop.
So I get it, like, that's the comfort zone, like, that's the place of normalcy, but, like, why else do you think that that's a decision that is forced on an athlete as opposed to, like, decided and planned on?
Forced, the best way I could say for forced would be more so like blackballed, because there are some players who end up having, no matter how good they are, have a reputation that teams don't want to deal with. So then teams and coaches are calling other ones like, hey, like, yeah, he did this, did that. I don't want to deal with him. I don't think you should either. Next thing you know, their name is dead and you can't get into the league. So, like, you're literally forced out.
So it's bigger than your talents. It's political too. Like, if
so.
the attitude and the behavior ain't right, like, that can hold you back, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So is that taught, like, in high school or in college? Like, when you're learning the game, is the behavior or the expected behavior also taught, or do you learn that as you get bigger and, like, go pro or whatever the case may be?
It's both. But for me, the foundation that I was raised in, it was taught from me.
Okay.
So they started it then. Then, of course, when you go and play and you're with other coaches, they talk about your attitude and knowing that it's a domino effect for your potential opportunities. You're learning, like, yo, like, they're not just saying that, they actually mean something. And, like, you have to understand, like, your character determines everything, not just in basketball, but just in normal life for any person. Your character determines a lot.
Okay, so tell me about your basketball journey. Like, we see you now. You haven't retired yet. You haven't made that decision.
I appreciate the correction.
I stand corrected. We don't have an ex-basketball player. We have one that's deciding.
There you go.
As far as your basketball journey, like, tell us about that.
Okay, so starting back to high school, went to LaShonn High School here in Georgia. Then I was fortunate enough to get a full ride to go to University of Alabama, basketball scholarship. After that, I came back. I went 1 year overseas. I went to Korea and Venezuela, actually. Venezuela first, then Korea. Next year, I got to play here with Atlanta, play with the Hawks. Then after that, I ended up going back overseas. Mainly stayed in Asia, Middle East, Latin America in the summers. But yeah, those are mainly my main spots.
So you've been all around the world.
3 passports.
Hence the 21. 22 rotation period. So as far as like bouncing around from country to country, state to state, like for someone else that's experiencing that, what advice would you give them
As an athlete or as a person?
as an athlete?
One, considering that it's not even like necessarily states, is going overseas. Like, be careful. That's the first thing I'm gonna tell you. A lot of issues that, as athletes, because we are praised to a certain degree, when you go to foreign territory, you think that you're untouchable. You know, because they bring us over there to win games, to score all the points, to do this, do that. So I've seen a lot of American ones go over there and have a big ego and think that they're untouchable. Next thing you know, you're in jail. You know, you don't want to be in jail in a foreign country, or you're getting beat up, and there's unfortunate incidences that take place over there where they get killed or beat up real bad, stuff like that. So just be careful, one. And then be open-minded to all these different cultures and people that come into your life. Like, I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of good people and learn new things and open up my mind. And I feel like if I would have been able to go play basketball in high school overseas, I would have definitely did it, just because it enhances you as a person to learn.
So much more culture. That's
Mhm.
cool. I think that's really dope. So when it comes to like the transition, although you haven't completely transitioned, what advice would you give to athletes? It doesn't even have to be athletes that are about to transition, but those that are younger, that are in high school or college, that can start planning early. Like, what would you tell them?
Um, okay, so I'm gonna back up a little bit on the first part. So the reason why I even took the break that I did that would lead to my transition is because I felt like I needed to put time into whatever my after the sport direction was going to be. And if I didn't try to start that and keep playing, then I would have been further behind. You know, us as athletes, we already learn stuff backwards. You know,
What does that mean?
so quick example: when we graduate college versus you,
Uh-huh.
we graduate, we go pro either NBA or overseas. You go to NBA, you have an agent, manager, they do everything for you, solely focused on basketball. You go overseas, 8 to 10 months, you're gone from normal life. A normal graduate, they graduate, they go get a job, a corporate job, or go learn another skill set in employment of some degree, right? They go apply for health insurance and they go get their apartment, all that kind of stuff. They do life essentials that we don't do. We skip a lot of that stuff, and then we had to learn it backwards.
Okay.
Because everything's kind of done for us in a sense to solely focus on the professionalism of the sport, or, like, you know, your skill set. So we're behind in life if you think about it.
That's so you all are conditioned to have tunnel vision on the sport because that's your career. So you feel like the ones that graduate, they have not so much the upper hand, but they get ahead of athletes or professional athletes because they're already experienced in life. And once you all make that transition, you have to start that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to those that are athletes and are going up in their level of athleticism, let's say college up to pro sports? Like, what can they do to prevent like being behind when it's over?
I would say that one part of it, it also is about who you have around. So, like, your family base, your friend base, the type of minds that you have that, you know, are forward thinking or focused on establishing, you know, stability in your life. But as yourself, as a player, you have to understand you need to learn. You need to learn finances. You need to learn the fact that it's okay to be more than an athlete. You know, it's okay to do multiple things. It's okay to have whatever passion and dream you had growing up outside of an athlete, to still venture off and try those things. And just surround yourself with the right people to help you stay up. Because one thing we do as athletes, like the financial part, I think is probably one of our biggest ones. Financial and having the right people around us. Yeah, those are probably our biggest two downfalls.
What's the right people?
Having people that actually have your best interests at heart, not just thrive off of what you have or your name or your resources that you provide. So things of that nature.
Okay. So do you think you've always done that? Or did it come a point where you had to learn that and change?
I personally feel like I've been aware enough to, make sure I had the right people around me and that poured into me in a positive way. Hey, look, you're doing this. You're not doing this right. You should focus on this. Why don't you learn that? You know what I mean? Things of that nature. But I've had a friend or two that were close to me that did kind of take advantage of me in certain ways that I, end up having to take hits from because of that. So you try to maintain it as best you can.
Very good. So, with that being said, what is the best advice you've ever received on your journey?
Not get married. No.
Why is that?
No, I'm just playing. I mean, my dad kind of did say it, but not in like a bad way. But honestly, the best advice, and it may be cliche to say, is that just truly go after what you want. Like, don't limit yourself to be confined in a box because that's what people know you for. Expand yourself and explore and go after what you want.
See what happens. All right. So, with that being said, I'm going to go for this drink that we have here. We're going to toast to going for what you want and not holding yourself back.
Hold on. What is this?
Thank you, Evan. Drink that drink.
Is this apple cider?
We're not giving people any publicity right now. You don't drink, so it's really a virgin drink. So, cheers. Thanks for
cheers.
Thanks for coming on Champagne Vibes with me.
This drink is warm.
Bye, Evan. I
It's
can't
hot.
stand them, y'all.
Headache. You did call me a headache too. See, people don't know you be driving me crazy as a best friend.
Because you cut up.